Attention to other stories in international news. Some big names are talking about some major issues today as we continue with our economic theme. Prominent politicians, business leaders, and activists are spending another day at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, and they're putting some big political issues up for discussion along with the economic ones. Anne McMillan's following the story and joins us now from London. So, Anne, what's the tone and substance of the economic talks?
Well, I'm going to quote something. The schmooze fest has turned into a gloom fest. That's how a BBC reporter is describing the mood at this year's World Economic meeting at Davos. All sorts of discussions about the recession, how serious it will be, when it will end, and plenty of talk about the economic effects that the bad economic times will have on countries all over the world. One common theme appears to be that this is not the time for nations to go protectionist, to start putting up trade barriers. The head of the World Trade Organization warned against it in a speech yesterday, as did the Premier of China and the Russian president. Today, former U.S. President Bill Clinton was a featured speaker. He's not wasting any time, Nancy, putting his contacts to use for his Secretary of State wife, Hillary. He's been holding private meetings with President Putin and others. He was asked today about whether he thought a new world trade agreement would be approved this year. Here's what he said.
People are frightened now. There's a lot of fear out there in the economy. So I don't think that now is the best time in the world to get new trade agreements. But I also believe that intelligent people all over the world will see that this is not necessarily the time to pick new fights either. We have to get out of this together.
Interesting that Clinton would say we're all in this together and we all need to get out of this together. But of course, that in practice is a challenge. So that's some of the economic discussion. What about the political side of the equation? What are we hearing on that front, Anne?
Well, today is the focus is on political issues, particularly on the Middle East. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon spoke earlier today, and he announced the launch of a $600 million appeal for victims of the Gaza conflict. Iran's foreign minister is in Davos, along with other leaders from Israel and the Arab world. Interesting, the Iranian foreign minister spoke just a while ago, and he said that he applauds President Obama's plan to get American troops out of Iraq, but he'd like to see them out of Afghanistan as well. There are reports that U.S. officials are drafting a letter to Iran from President Obama aimed at unfreezing U.S.-Iranian relations and opening the way for direct talks with Iran. On a lighter note, Nancy, there is a serious lack of glitz at this year's meeting. No movie stars, few bankers, even few hedge fund execs. Local companies say that spending on parties, normally very lavish in Davos, has dropped by a third. And a real sign of the times, a big company executive decided not to take his helicopter from Zurich to Davos out of principle.
Oh, very interesting, as you say. Sign of the times for sure. Anne, thanks very much for this. Anne McMillan reporting in London.